Okay, we are live. Welcome to 5D All Day. I'm Danielle Kane. I am your host, and I'm so glad to meet again. We're a little early this month, but we're excited to kind of share conversation, have high vibing conversation, or, just something that, is really calling to us. That's kind of what I've really wanted to ask the group today. What was really calling to you with like all the shifts and everything that's going on in the world right now. So I'm really excited to hear from each one of you, and we'll go around. I mean, maybe we'll do something a little bit different. Maybe we can talk about, because I'm sure if anyone has watched this, I like to do an introduction. You can say our name, maybe something brief, but maybe something that you might be inspired to do or that you're working on or something that's been calling you, rather than just, and it could be your spiritual awakening, however you want to put it, something that's comfortable. But does that sound okay to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's start off with you, Michael. Let's go.
Oh, geez. Okay. I don't want a long spiel about my past like I always do. So, what's really sort of like nudging me all the time is my astrology and galactic astrology.
Hmm.
So I found out that I'm conjunct with the Great Attractor, which is galactic astrology. So I'm conjunct with the Great Attractor. And I'm also finding out that I have a lot of Egyptian, like there's asteroids named after Egyptian gods. So
Mm.
I have a lot of Egyptian god uh, in my Leo, which is my birth sign, right? And I also have um, strategic gods in like uh, near my ascendant, near um, my IC, and I know I have Atlantis close to my midheaven. I have uh and here's the other thing, in Scorpio, I have all these um uh like I took so here's the thing, in the 80s I took ancient history, so classics ancient history.
Hmm.
So I have a degree in classics ancient history, Greek and Roman studies. And in my Scorpio, in my natal chart, I have I have Zeus and I have all these Greek and Roman gods in my Scorpio, which is really
Mm.
weird. So I was like, and when I do like GPT, it says that I'm wired to study ancient esoteric stuff, and I'm attracted to spirituality and stuff like that. So, which is kind of weird because I wasn't really delving into this much since the 80s and only recently started doing it. Um,
So you're
so
becoming the historian of your inner path, it sounds like.
yeah, like I'm really pushing it, and it seems like I don't get a lot of, like, sometimes I hear words and stuff like that, but it seems like the past few months has been like focusing on Egypt and the pyramids, and I've thrown stuff into our spiritual group about like uh, like a triangle in my astrology chart that matches the triangle of where I'm living, like
Hmm.
precisely, like angles
Hmm.
and everything, which is really serendipitous to find that. And there's like a place near, I'm like I've mentioned this before, I have a place near my house or apartment that's the ley line intersects the top of uh, um, uh, Lions Crescent, and
Hmm.
the and right at the very top of Lions Crescent, and the length of Lions Crescent is exactly the same length as the Sphinx. Now,
Hmm.
and then right there, right beside that crescent is Falcon Avenue, or Lake Falcon is associated with the Egyptians and stuff like that. So and I have, like, it seems like I don't have a big, like, I have some interest in Egypt, but I'm finding out the more I delve into that, the more I have close connection to ancient civilizations and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
So you're drawn
and
to that. That's really
yeah,
cool. It's fun that, it's almost seeking this truth that it could be same timelines, that you're
Yeah,
exploring and that you're really
yeah,
interested in. That intrigues me a lot as well.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
I was just going to ask you that though. Like, have you felt like you've gone, like either via dreams or during some types of sessions or something that you've had, that you have those life timelines and that's why you're really drawn to them?
Well, here's the thing. When I went to a QHHT session in July last year during Lions,
Hmm.
Mm.
um, when I was with the practitioner, um, it was really weird because all of a sudden she get random construction right on the road while I'm having a session with her. The birds start chirping outside, like weirdly, because I get groups of three birds flying over me all the time from my wife. She's passed and stuff like that, and white feathers and stuff like that. But it seemed like everything got noisy and chaotic around me when I was doing the session. And during the session, I found out I was a previous night. Um, I had a life as a woman in the 16th century in Britain somewhere. I was a soldier in World War II. Um, and I have other like what I'll tell you one thing that I found out just recently that Atlantis, the asteroid Atlantis, is right 1 degree from my midheaven.
Mhm.
And before I found that out, I had a dream where it felt like I was in an ancient palace with blue, like cobalt blue flags overlooking an ocean. And I was like in a marble palace with open open concept with facing the ocean, right? And I've had another dream where I'm on an island where it's sort of um, falling apart. But those are just brief memories. And I also had a memory of me being like someone in the woods like 12,000 years ago, like a mountain man or something like that. That was one of my things I found out in July. But um, and I have other things like I know I was must have been a beekeeper. I think I was a businessman or
Love it.
a lawyer in New York in 1860, stuff like that. So I mean
That's
that's
wonderful.
yeah.
I love it. And
Yeah,
so just to recap real quick so we can fill in
yeah.
Dina and Jason, I'm going around as you know I typically do, but I really want to know kind of what you're feeling called at the moment to do, what's drawing you in whatever direction, rather than just doing an intro of our awakening. And it could be all part of the same thing, but I kind of wanted to approach it a little bit different, just to see where people are in this moment in time. And I just am just interested and I can't wait to share as well. So just wanted to let you know.
Got
But
it. Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for joining us
Yeah.
today and on a day that's not the typical. So thank you for rearranging your schedules. Let's go with Tina Marie. How about you? What are you feeling called recently? I mean, I know you have some big projects that you're working on. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Well, so I feel like within the last, oh, let's see, since January, I mean, I channel, right? So
Mhm.
in January, I got a message to write about returning to 5D. And I felt like every month since then has been some type of revelation or reminder that where we are already there, and yet there's these various things that are really important for us to do at this particular point. It's not so much to do like as a in a to-do list as much as it is just in a vibrational sort of way to really reconnect and to remember the source self within. And so I've been channeling, for example, various guided meditations. And recently, so I think anybody who attended the Cosmic Citizen, I shared a dream about transformation. And in that transformation, there's a lot that's going on. And but the other day, and continuing that, so I just feel like it's almost as if like there's this. like this puzzle that keeps getting put together. And the last thing that I dreamed, yesterday, I woke up and immediately, you know, like when a battery, you know, like you see the battery on your phone and it's charging, and you know, you see that it's up, it's going up and up and up. Well, I saw, because of 2 months ago, I had the dream where our higher aspect, our 5D aspect that's projecting us, is transmitting this energy from us to us. It's not from some other source, it's from us to us. And because I sense what I'm seeing is that we are getting charged, and we are bringing in, anchoring in our higher frequencies into the physical body, because we're not leaving the body. We're actually bringing it in and anchoring it in. And so the higher frequencies. And so that's what I saw, was this battery charger. And it was like, you know, like we're almost at the top, and it's like bing, you know, like you're just waiting for it. Remember that Apple sound when you first turned on your Apple computer and it had that, you know, like it just like felt like that was coming through, and like that sound, even though I don't know why it would be Apple, but still, it's just that sound that it's actually full. And so I just kind of feel like we're right on the cusp of this. And I had another dream not too long ago, where I woke up and everybody was on the ground, and or in a store or something. It was like outside, and everybody was laying down. And then everybody started slowly waking up and kind of getting their bearings, and they're sitting up, and you know, and then like, wow, suddenly things start to get back to normal. Nobody seems to question anything. It just sort of seems like, boop, there's this transition. And um, anyway, somebody came over and gave me a big hug. And then I went to talk to another woman, and who had like a little kiosk, a little ice cream kiosk or something. And she totally ignored me, like she couldn't see me. And so I felt like that might start happening for people, that as we really anchor in our higher frequencies, that we just actually might kind of show up, be present, and then kind of have to go back and forth and play with being in and out and present for others to help them along the way. So that was
Love
kind of
it.
a long story, but
Listen, you
I
couldn't be
feel
a
like,
perfect fit for why I do this. I mean, it's 5D all day. You're talking about how I need to stay in 5D. We're talking about this is the moment that we're talking about how to be in the higher frequency. That's what this is all about. This is a chat. I'm like, hey, everybody, how are we doing?
yeah,
Because that's exactly the point about we're already there. We're already in it. It's just, let's now ripple this out. And so everyone starts to recognize and like turn the light switch on that, hey, I'm doing this. It's happening,
yeah.
whether
And
we know it consciously or not. So thank you so much for
exactly.
sharing
And
it.
Danielle, I think you do it consciously. And I think that's what really anchors it in, is because you are doing it. You literally are doing 5D all day. And so you are that emanation, that exact example. You're walking your talk. And that's what makes it really, that's what makes it real. Because it is real. It's just you anchor it in because of that.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing that too. I appreciate your feedback too when you had a private message to me about what your guides had told you. So I
Mhm,
appreciate that.
mhm.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to let's do Madalynn. Why don't you share about what you've been called to do recently or anything that's speaking to you?
Okay. Um, I'm not sure which I want to start with, so I want you guys to choose for me. Do you want me to start with a really um interesting dream that I just recently had, or like what I'm
Let's
called
go with
or
the dream.
focused?
I'm feeling the dream.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So, um, it was honestly pretty scary, but I was in my room I was face down on my mattress. I often sleep on my stomach. I had my eyes closed, but I felt the presence of beings in my room and I could hear their voices. And even though they sounded very gentle and like very pleasant and, like not, something to be scared of, I was still scared. And they told me to stay still, to not move because they were going to perform a surgery.
Mm,
But like right after they said that, like my primal instinct kind of kicked in and I was gonna try to like get up and like fight for my life, kind of like just
mhm,
instinctively, like what's going on? I'm scared. But I didn't even have a chance to like pop up because I felt it felt like one of them laid on my back and it felt kind of like a woman's body, which is strange because the energy that like they didn't feel like it was completely like human. Um, like I didn't feel like there was humans in my room. It was different in some kind of way. But the energy, like the what laid on my body felt like a physical, like female, like human being type, like laid on my body and was keeping me down. And they said again, like stay still, don't move. And they spoke very calmly and everything. And then it was a little bit painful, but it felt like something got like kind of pulled up out of my back,
mm,
like kind of close to my spine, but to the side. And then it's interesting because I was talking on the phone to one of our fellow community members about this last night. And I was talking to her laying on my back in my bed and telling her about the dream. And then she had to go. But so then I was reflecting on the dream and I was thinking, wait a second. And I was like thinking, okay, if I was on my stomach, then that pain that I felt in the removal would have been like this side of my back. And then I remembered that, years ago I had a bulging disc and
mm,
I had physical therapy for it and everything, and it improved greatly, but I always still had like a twinge of pain. And like a only like maybe a week or two ago, I actually kind of just like prayed to the universe, like, I was like, am I gonna be stuck with this forever? Or like, is this a permanent kind of pain thing? Or, is there something I can do about it or whatever? And then I just kind of was like in like shock of wondering, like, did they help me with that?
mm. I mean, I know Tina Marie's probably going to answer this, but can I just intuitively say that I don't think this was a dream. I actually do believe this happened. They often come as more human-like, so they don't scare you away. So they can actually do what they from what I've done research on, they do come and visit and they're specifically trying to guide and help you. So if they see something that they need to work on, but they'll come in a gentle way where you'll recognize the energy and be comfortable with it so it's not scary. Tina Marie, you take it away. I could be wrong, but that's what intuitively came across.
Oh, no, I would agree. The only thing I would add to that is remember in Cosmic Citizen, remember one of the things that came out of that dream and the message was that we are multidimensional beings. And we have an aspect that is we have multiple aspects in various dimensions that do not look human. And so I sense very strongly that an aspect of you was actually helping you to pull that out. And you're just not necessarily accustomed to that idea. And so I mean the idea of having a galactic aspect of for lack of a better way to say it. And so I sense very, very much that they are here with that because the pain in our body or the density, because that's all it is density, is asking to be relieved so that that little battery charger I was just talking about, like our battery body is actually can hold more of that frequency. It's dissolving it and pulling it out. I mean, really, it's like the best thing that it could happen. One, while you were sleeping, and two, while like in one fell swoop, because you don't want to have to revisit it. You don't want it to bring up old stuff or anything like that. And so I think that was like way cool.
So cool. I'm so glad you shared that.
Yes, thank
Very
you.
cool.
Thank you for sharing that.
Do you want to go on with something that you're being called to as well?
Yeah, I'll keep it short too, because I want to hear from everybody else. But I really resonated with Tina, with everything Tina was saying, because I feel like that's what I'm being called to do right now. Is like, in the past, it was always kind of like there was the real world or the 3D world, and then I had like my spiritual life that I almost like kind of like had to hide away and do, and I would feel like I was either in one world or the other, or I had one foot in and one foot out, or I would go like on these spiritual kind of adventures sort of on my own, and then but then I would like return to like family and friends and like go feel like I was lower, and so it was like a back and forth. Whereas now what I'm working on is like trying to change my perspective, that it's not like a this or that or there, here and there, that it's just like she said, like anchoring in to just this is the new reality, and how
Mhm.
to navigate that and kind of stay centered, and like not kind of have that bouncing around kind of confusion, but like staying like centered and bringing it with me like wherever I go. And I know spirit calling has helped so much with that, because it doesn't feel like kind of like this secret anymore that I like on my own with, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're coming out of the closet, as we say. The
Yeah,
spiritual closet.
I
yeah,
totally relate to that, by the way. I
Yeah.
mean, like, two Facebook pages. One is the one that friends and that I've known forever that really just have no idea about this stuff. And then the other one is the page where things get posted that are for me what is the reality for me. And so I totally get that. And, kudos to you for having the courage to make those merge, because you're right. They're not separate. They really aren't. And I just, I applaud you. Really,
Yes.
I applaud you for taking that step and really anchoring in the stuff that's real.
Yes, me too.
Mhm.
thanks.
Dina, Miss Dina, I'd love to hear from you.
Oh, I'm on mute. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That was awesome, Maddie. And I agree with everything Tina Marie said too, because when we were doing it, I heard in my head, it's real. It's real. Like that's what was coming through. I actually wrote it down here. But I think it's funny because the dreaming thing is happening in a high intensity now, and I'm not a crazy dreamer. Tina Marie doesn't even know this. I almost texted you the other day, but I had two things. I'm being pulled to to healing for some reason. Like it's just pulling me, and I don't know exactly what to do with it, but it's there. And then the dreaming thing. So I had a dream not last night, the night before, that I woke up screaming. My husband was on top of me and he's like, "You're okay. Like I have never had that." And I was sweating and I woke up and I was like out of breath. And he's like, "What were you dreaming?" So I wrote it down quickly because Tina Marie always says, write them down. So I wrote it down in my iPhone so that I would remember. And then, so basically I was at a beach, beautiful, fabulous beach. And I'm on the beach and I look out in the water and Pamela was out there and she's like, "You need to come into the water. You need to come into the water. Hurry up, hurry up." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming, and I'm running out there." She goes, "The fish are coming. The fish are coming." And I'm like, "Okay." So I get out there and all of a sudden millions of fish just started coming. And I'm like, "Oh my God, look at these fish." And I was like, "I can't believe they're here for us or me or you." And I just remember that all of a sudden I was yanked down under the water, like something grabbed me, pulled me way down, and I was gasping for air. And I couldn't get out. And I was like, that's when I guess I was screaming, I guess. And I'm gasping for air and I could see this light porthole, like, and I'm reaching for it. And I kept hearing, "We are here. We are here. You are there. You are with us. You just have to reach. You just have to reach." And I'm like straggling. All of a sudden I shifted and I was in bed and I was under covers and I couldn't get out of the covers. And I'm like trying to I'm like, get them off, get them off, and get them off. And there was a woman with blonde braids standing there. And she's like, the power, you have the power. You do it. You have the power. You can take it off. You can reveal. And I was like, and then that's when I woke up and my husband was like, honey, you're screaming, you're screaming, you're screaming. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh God. So I wrote it all down. And I was talking yesterday to Pamela and she's like, you need to tap into that. Like you need to channel that. So I've been also pulled to automatic writing. So last night I couldn't sleep. I was going to bed and I'm like, oh God, am I going to have that dream again? And all of a sudden these thoughts started coming through and I grabbed my iPhone and I wrote down what came through the dream. And basically I thought the dream was about, I didn't feel in control or, I was worried about an upcoming board meeting or something like that. And it was very much about, what came through was that it's time to step into that 5D 100%, which Tina's laughing because she's like, I've been telling you this forever. Step into it. You're ready. People will be there to listen, whatever it is. You have the power within you. And when you're pulled down, you are only pulled down when you think you are not worthy of doing it. And you have the power. It's in you all. It's in you. You have it already. And I wrote it out last night, but it was crazy. Like it was so vivid. I mean, it stuck with me the last couple of days, and I don't usually have dreams like that. So, my husband was like, "You scared the living daylights out of me. Like I've never heard you do that." And I was like, "It was so real. It was so real." But it was it made sense. And the woman standing there was somebody kind of coaching me to say, "Come on, take those covers off," almost like step into 5D, step in, quit being, step in fully, take the covers off. You can do it. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was wild. It was wild. Yeah. So,
Well,
I don't know.
just to piggyback off that, we had a chat from YouTube Live from a Danielle, believe it or not, and she wrote. And so
Ah.
Tina, since you are our dream expert, if you want to share a little bit about what she said, I guess she connected to what you said, Dina. She says, "Oh, I dreamt that I was shot in my left kidney and
Oh,
head. It was messed up." So I don't. That was pretty specific, but I don't know if that has any meaning. I know the left side is past life usually,
uh-huh.
past life reflection, but I don't know much about kidney in particular. But some pretty intense dreams.
They've been intense lately for a lot of
And
people,
intense.
I'm hearing.
So I think it's really, that's such a beautiful share too. And I feel like when the part of us that's in any type of resistance is just the ego mind. But
Mhm.
it's not only just the ego mind, it's the mind, it's the part of us um that feels like it's losing control, and it's the part of us that doesn't want to, but it's the part of us that we just haven't known it or remembered it yet. So we just haven't known it any other way. And so it feels like, you can be drowning in all of this if you're if you're not allowing yourself to just go with it
Just
and
be.
flow with it. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what you revealed to yourself for sure. It's so amazing.
It was wild. I mean, because I don't always remember my dreams. And it was intense. And I did ask before I went to sleep, I did your tip, let me remember my dreams. Holy moly. Okay. There you go.
You're like, okay, maybe I'll think about that.
Okay. Bring it back a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was revealing. And I wrote it out on my phone. So I do have it, like
That's
what was coming through
fabulous.
last night. It was 1:45. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, my husband has no idea what I do when he goes to bed. Like it's just
Mhm.
it was crazy.
I'm sorry, Danielle. You said this other Danielle was
Yeah,
saying
and she
being
did. Well, it's
shot.
funny. She
So
did.
I don't.
She said she got shot. And again, it's funny because I instantly went to what part of the body is trying to communicate with her because our when we have certain things like cancer coming in, usually that's like anger of some sort holding on to. And sometimes even something like diabetes is lack of sweetness in our life. These things have messages. And it seems like to me, what is coming through in her dream is something that might have been in a past life and or is trickling into this lifetime. And if she's very specific, she said it was the left kidney and the head. So I feel like there's something there that might be communicating with her. And she said, that's exactly what I thought too. It was a past life. So I appreciate someone commenting on YouTube. But again, I'm just coming from more of a hypnosis background on what's coming intuitively. But for you or anyone else in the group might connect with what might be going on here. Please feel free to share.
So from my perspective is there's no such thing as past lives,
Right.
there's just other lifetimes.
Other lifetimes, right.
Yeah. And so that said, I sense that there's a merging of life timelines.
Mm.
The horizontal is merging and the vertical is merging, but the life timelines are merging. So as you say, this could be another life timeline that is just, asking to be cleared up and very specific. I think it's so interesting that it's so targeted,
Yeah.
like to specific areas. Yeah, for me, I generally, I know you wouldn't tell by now, but I don't generally interpret other people's dreams. I try to just kind of help them
To steer them
navigate.
into their own, right.
Yeah, because that has more meaning. It's symbolic for them. It's like, how people have those near-death experiences and it's unique to them, and to their
Mhm.
belief system, to their understandings about the life and the afterlife,
Sure.
right? And so they show up in that way, and everyone's is different in that way.
Mhm.
So because it's tailor-made. Well, that's what our dreams are. Like the meaning of the dream is really tailor-made to you. So what does a shot mean? What does it mean to get, what does it mean that your liver got shot or that your head got shot?
Sure.
Like, what does that actually mean for you in life? Do you feel attacked? Do you feel like targeted? Do you feel like there's something that's asking for your body is asking for attention in one side versus another side, or versus another area? Like, it's really so specific to what is going on with you in your
In your
life.
life.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what we talked about on the Cosmic Citizen, which was the frog for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the frog I had in my dream, and I just was like, why was there this frog doing this in my dream? And Tina Marie was like, what is the significance of the frog for you? And I was like, well, I don't know. And then realized my entire 15 years of my childhood was I had a frog with me. Like I was frog obsessed and completely forgot that, like completely forgot it.
You were
And
part of the amphibian tribe. Come on, you didn't
I
know
was, I was, I was. I
But you
think I am.
remember that what was important about that was that
Yes.
it was soothing, and you
Comforting.
always associated it with some type of pain, though.
Mhm.
You kept it with you because you were going through some type of surgery.
Yeah.
It was painful. And so as you're going through your transformation, then that's what was coming up for you, is to help you let go of that really old subconscious
Stuff.
thought of connecting, transformation with pain,
Yep. It
and to
was
really
really,
release
it made a
that.
lot of sense when those things got connected because, but
Mhm.
for someone else, the frog wouldn't have maybe meant anything. But for me,
That's
it
really
was very
neat.
specific. Yeah.
And I love how specific you're really doing some work. This is like your calling now, like you're connecting in your dream state and in your channeling. That's like the call now. And it's helping your healing journey. Like you said, you're on this healing
Yeah.
mission. So you tied it really nicely. And these pieces all have meaning to that healing. So I think that was really awesome that you got to share that again, even
Yeah.
on
It's
on this
coming up
channel.
for sure. I have a good friend who's an intuitive, Kristen Newman, who she has the thing on Spirit Calling tomorrow night. But she always says she lives paranormally.
Mhm.
And I always love that because she's like, I just live paranormally. Like she can't even separate them. Like
Yeah,
she's genius at it.
awesome. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
wait
very
to
cool.
hear more about that too.
Yeah. She's
Jason,
cool.
you're back with us. Yeah, I thought I lost you, and I was like just feeling like I was going to get around to you before I started chatting a little bit about what I'm feeling called to do. But do you have time to share? I know you're in your
Yeah,
vehicle.
yeah, I've been kind of lost service there for a minute, but
Okay.
I'm enjoying a really cool view up here to oh man, is the filter on? Oh, there we go. To a
Yeah.
new job that we're starting.
Oh, yay.
So
Nice.
That's
anyhow,
great. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
but yeah, I've also this past 3 weeks I have had more dreams. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but I've been doing that pineal meditation. And I have been having a lot of dreams around, this sound weird, but like scrubbing my pineal gland, like scrubbing, like physically scrubbing, like with a brush. And there was one dream I had, and I was like cleaning it, and like there was this crystal that came up out of it. And
Wow.
then there was like another dream I had at a different time of like cleaning the out around the outside of it. Anyways, so I've been having those. I had a very unique dream. Like I've also been dreaming a lot about snakes, like
Mm.
in like a good way, I guess. It's I haven't been like so I'm terrified of snakes. I've always been. I do not enjoy snakes. But I've been having these dreams about snakes, and it's like we're playing to see, like it's wanting to bite me, but it's not
Hmm.
like it would like get its mouth on me, like it like which one can strike first almost.
Oh my goodness.
And so there's been that going on. Been having dreams about my kids. Like I've had more dreams in the last 3 weeks that I can remember because I know I dream. I just can never
I
remember them.
remember them.
And that's been kind of cool. But I don't know outside of, I've felt this way for a long time. And I think it's due to my background, but just like really helping my family and extended family. In different ways. That's what I've felt like that I've just been here to to help in whatever way I can, whether it's just just a kind word, whether it's financial help, whether it's we go through a lot of experiences. Each one of us have different experiences. It's one thing I really enjoy about these groups is hearing different people's experiences and their backgrounds and how those stories, just hearing other people's stories just really can help. I
Hmm.
think in maybe it was the last 5D or one of the last meetings that we had, or one of the last gatherings. It was I've had a lot of more talk about spirituality than I have in a long time with people that
Mm.
I wouldn't have expected to have those conversations with. And I see so many things just like opening up this last little bit, and it's been super
Because
exciting.
you're
I
living
have
5D, baby.
it's I hope so. I hope so. It's the hard part is for me is it's like we get these instances that will pull us back down into 3D.
Yeah.
And it's like these feelings feel even more so now than ever before, so out of whack.
Hmm.
Like it throws everything off. It throws your moods out. It throws your attitude out. For me, this is me, it's my experience. It's throwing everything out of whack. And it's just like, what do I got to do? Why is this happening? I
Hmm.
kind of went on this deep dive the other day of black matter. And it's just like, holy cow, like it's different things I didn't even understand with, I think that's what they call it, but it's like, it sounds like the earth is going through right now its own transition, and it's releasing this matter through volcanoes, through all sorts of different things with a lot of emotion that are coming through it.
Hmm.
And the only way, if I understand it correctly, the only way it can have power over us is if we give it the power over us. Otherwise, it can't. Just like I would assume anything in the spiritual realm. But it's been fun. I have been loving
Nice.
life.
Yes. I love that. For real, it makes me so happy. It's like you almost like you took off like this layer, like you took off that heavy coat, and now you can just be
Right.
yourself. Like I can explore, and it's okay to be curious. And sometimes it's gonna feel like, man, I need to put that coat back on, but it's okay.
Right.
And then you can kind of transition and feel it out.
Yep.
That's great. Awesome. I have some
That's
interesting
cool.
things. We can talk offline about snakes, but there was this really, real quick, there was this really cool movie because I'm always looking for like some kind of spiritual movie to watch. And there was this one where this guy was, I don't even know what the movie was called, but anyway, he ended up being like this bodyguard for this family, and they were like a real high. I don't know if it was like on a temple or something. But anyway, in order to be like one of the bodyguards, you had to pass this test and the ultimate test. And he didn't know what it was, but he had to do multiple things like fight this monk or something. And then the other one, the ultimate test was in the snakes, right? And so when you went into the dungeon, there were a double-headed snake. And if you told a lie, the snakes would eat you and strangle you. But if you were the truth, they wouldn't. So I found it interesting that you were thinking about biting, it biting you. And so there's something about this snake. I don't think there's anything wrong with snakes. I actually think it's like if anyone's ever done ayahuasca too, and my husband has, he said the snake went through him, and it was almost like he went on this whole journey of exploring all that his body was, like the universe of himself. So I feel like the snake is like seeking within you.
Yeah,
No?
It is the year of the snake, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
I
yeah, it
believe
is.
Wow.
so.
So I was starting to do a little bit of digging because I was just like, I don't normally dream about snakes, and I'm normally terrified if I do, but this wasn't like that. I heard Maddie's dream of like the extraterrestrials, like how she was feeling. Like it was almost like I should be scared, but I'm not. Like that's kind of how I felt about the snake. Like I should be terrified of you, but I didn't have that feeling of fear. It was a feeling of it was weird. It was a playful feeling.
It
Yeah.
could be a kundalini coming up.
Kundalini, yes.
Yeah,
With me.
Transformation.
yeah.
Transformation.
And snakes
Transformation
are good,
is
are
nipping
symbolic.
at you.
Yeah, it's nipping. I
Well,
mean, from you, from the first time I met you till now, I mean, you've literally shed your skin, if we could put it that way, as a snake. Like you're in a new layer now.
yeah, another thing that happened to me this week is like I was driving and I had these thoughts pop into my head, and it was like aurora. Is that the light that people hold? Is that what that's called?
The aura?
Like
Or
aura. There we go.
Yeah.
The aura. And all of a sudden there was like these images of people that I deal with that had like really bright auroras and people that had like super dark auroras, and it was vivid images.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had that, ever
Mm.
experienced that. Like obviously when I go into contact with people, I can feel if like they're being genuine or they're being hosers. I don't know how you want to say it,
Yeah, you probably
Canadian.
could tell.
but but that was something that I've never experienced before, and I just thought, "Oh, that's interesting. I need to make note of this."
Yeah.
well,
That's
you just got through saying that you're scrubbing your pineal gland and it's coming out. So what happens when your pineal gland is cleared up is more of your empathic or telepathic or any of your clairs, any of your psychic abilities start coming online. And so more and more. So you probably start seeing that even more. Wait till you start seeing people and like in a completely different way.
It's like what happened to Dina at the airport or the
Yeah,
hotel, just like that
exactly.
flip of like, I'm seeing your true
Yeah.
form.
Yeah, it was very sudden, but just like everyone, it was crazy. It was like, whoa, did I just see that? It was
Yeah.
interesting.
I think
Yeah.
that wonderful. If you guys don't mind me sharing a little bit about it, and Tina, you kind of, I don't know, I think your message also was meant for me. She sent me a private text message when we were trying to work together as she's starting her and Dina are starting their new citizens. What is it again? I'm sorry, Cosmic Citizens. And we
Mhm.
were working together. And then she had a nice message for me because I think a lot of my journey has been about worthiness and that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do this. And exactly what I'm doing right now is what I'm meant to do. Even though I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else, I'm always kind of coming back here and being in this
And
present
be.
moment at this type of frequency, which is 5D. And I said, I don't know. It just came naturally to name this 5D all day. And she goes, well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm finally realizing that I'm just supposed to walk around and just be present in my 5D self. And I
Yes.
put myself in my business and I find out, Jason, just like you are, somehow spirituality will come out in some shape or
Mm-hmm.
form. It's coming out. And when they're because that someone will bring the political realm out or whatever it may be. But then ultimately I somehow turn it around to be like, but we're all here for a purpose to see something, to be somewhere. All that's just there to stir something up, right? Deep in
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing my frequency is bringing on the conversation for someone to find something within themselves. And even just like the other day, I was playing in a pickleball tournament, and I was just sitting there after our game, and I didn't even know the gentleman next to me. It was one of my players' fiancés who's filling in for us. And we were just talking about how we got into playing or doing things. And I said, this is kind of like my drinking because it's so social. I don't drink anymore. And I like the frequency. And I kind of explained why I don't drink anymore. And I said, you know, it was something that was plaguing my husband and his family with alcoholism. And the person next to me is like, my dad just died of, you know, alcoholism and you know, suicide and things like that. And he's like, and I'm on a spiritual journey. He's like, I did 10 days of meditation. I mean, this is just a random
Wow.
person just sharing
Yeah.
openly because I just said I stopped drinking and I play pickleball because of it. So I'm noticing even in just what I'm doing, grounding myself, just showing up, it's bringing conversation to other people because they're seeking that. So I just wanted to share that. And I thank you guys because it's given me the courage to just allow us all to know that there's nothing over the top that has to happen to just be in this frequency that we're bringing it in naturally. So
That's
Exactly.
exactly
Yeah.
it, Danielle, is you are a natural. You're just, it's like your natural frequency. That's how you go in. Everything that you do, everything that you say, I mean, it's just when we're walking the talk, it just makes a huge difference. Maddie, I'm sorry I didn't mean
yeah,
to interrupt you.
no, thank you. Thank you, Tina Marie. Maddie, go ahead.
Um, sorry to go Yoda mode, but
We love your Yoda. Yoda can come out anytime.
and it's funny because I was feeling like I wanted to say something, but then I was like doubting myself or resisting it. But then things that Danielle was saying was kind of like like more so like, okay, this is exactly in alignment with what I want to talk about. But first off, I want to say that Pamela's new podcast she just had with Glenn from Imperfectly Perfect. I think that's like a really beautiful thing right now, that is going to help people. And then to piggyback off that, like it's like all these people for a while now started going down these spiritual journeys and having their dark nights of the soul and going into hermit mode and kind of deconstructing and like and luckily a lot of them came out the other side and things like that. But I've been getting these like images of like so many people kind of like shot up and then but it's like we can't really leave behind what we left behind, sort of. And it's like so many of us are meant to come back down with our wisdom and our knowledge and to help the people, like to help, like they don't have to go through like what we went through, like
Mm-hmm.
all the dark nights of the souls and the loneliness and the confusion and the chaos and what's going on and stuff. It's like we can help kind of guide them now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it doesn't have to be like so crazy and it doesn't have to be like a us versus them or they're this or we're that or anything like that. It's more so like help like come back down with everything we've learned and help lift them up out of wherever they are, or
Mm-hmm.
it just be there with them and be able to navigate, or just be able to support them through, what they're going through in their own journey and, not necessarily have to force them or anything, but just for them to have, somebody to lean on while they're going down their own road kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's so true, Mandy, because I remember when I was started, um, I just was like, I felt alone. Like, I mean, even though my family was kind of woo-woo, this was a whole different level of woo. And you're just reaching for people that you can align with, like you want to hear like I'm not crazy, and that's honestly why spirit calling started. But it's a place
Mm-hmm.
to, you don't have to be alone, but it, because it shouldn't have to be isolating. It's real experiences, real people going through it, and it's really beautiful, and you don't have to be alone. That's part of the beauty of like this community, which is so awesome.
Yeah. Pamela's on, by the way. She's saying, hi, everybody. That's why our community is so important and so wonderful. Absolutely. I think it's going to
Yay.
be, I mean, this is why she built this, because at some point this is going to
Yep.
be available to,
To
and it's going to
everyone.
be huge. I mean, it's just a matter of time that this is going to be the new way of communicating, and who knows beyond like what that'll look like. I wanted to say one last thing, that my husband drew Venom. Everybody know the Venom, like with the tongue?
Hmm.
I don't know what they were doing. The kids always have we have a whiteboard and they draw on it all the time. Wouldn't you know, I was in my vehicle driving today and I saw that exact picture on the back of a car. I mean, out of all the times, and Venom's not out right now. It's not like it's a popular movie. And I said, and I took a picture of it and I'm like, your picture. And he's such a good artist. Like it looked exactly like how he drew it. He's like, because I see the future. And I said, yes,
Mhm.
but I now see with you. Like I felt like I was his eyes, and I feel like that next level of oneness coming together. And I had
That's
to share that
cool.
because I felt deeply like, yes, you saw that, but you had already saw it. Now I'm seeing it and we're meeting and
You're
converging at the same
syncing.
time.
You're syncing.
It's
You're
so
you're
fascinating. Like,
sharing.
I live for that. I
Yeah,
can't
that's so
wait.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
very
think
cool.
to your point, Maddie, yeah, this isn't about, so even we use the word 5D or New Earth or any
Yeah.
of that. It's not about the division. It is about unity consciousness. And it actually, for me, I see unity consciousness as then conscious creations. And so when you're with each other, are we waving?
Yeah. Dina had to go.
When we're together, and we're holding that frequency for others, it helps, as we're doing it for ourselves and we're adjusting, that automatically goes into the new collective. Some people may not want to wake up to it as fast as others, but that doesn't matter because it's not a race, it's not a goal, it's just an anchoring of it in here, and then you get to choose if you want to participate in it and be of it and contribute to that. So I totally get what you're saying. And as you just said, Danielle, that's beautiful. I mean, just seeing through someone else's eyes.
Oh
That's
my gosh, it feels so great. And it's funny when I was talking to somebody else too about the awakening journey. My husband Brian did ayahuasca and became the tiger spirit. And he only wears tiger shirts. That's just what he does. That's his thing. And he has this really beautiful long sleeve tiger outfit. And he came to one of my games, and one of the players on my team's like, I really love your shirt. And I just openly, whether Brian liked it or not, I was like, he did ayahuasca and he became the tiger spirit. And they're like, oh, okay. And Brian's like, I'm like, did you care that I said that? He's like, whatever. And later on, I said that, and he's like, no, me and my wife are having a spiritual journey too. And and it was just like amazing. And he even said, like, once you are open to it, it's like you can't go back. It's
yeah.
just like this layer. It's so like just like this, like I was just saying, shedding off that layer of skin, Jason. Now you're here. You're just in a new space, just as a new version of yourself, and you're not going to go back to the version that now that you have more information. It's like moving on to the chapter. Now you know more, right? It's just part of our evolution or our consciousness shift. I think it's fascinating.
Really.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to share? We have about 2 more minutes.
Yeah, I just have something that's popping into my head that I have somebody that I spoke to recently that, is on their awakening journey and everything. And what you just said about you can't go back to all the knowledge because of all the knowledge you had. She's in a time where she's kind of struggling, so she's kind of like having thoughts of like I almost feel like I was better off in like
Mm,
the ignorance of like now that she's like opened to so much information and
yeah.
knowledge and then she's like in environments with so many people that are not. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like she feels the density and it feels so heavy for her, but then she sees them just like in La La Land kind of, or just easily navigating what we call maybe like the 3D or whatever.
Yep.
So she's kind of like in a place where she's almost feeling like regretful, like she's thinking that life was easier before she awakened. But so I think
We're
it's
way showers. And that's just part of too. Go ahead, Tina. I want you to go
So
ahead.
I just sense that there's a really big difference to the academic knowing, the mental knowing of things, because man, is there, there's so much out there. And so it's less about that and it's more about tuning in, going within and feel what really resonates with you, because like everybody's in a different place on their journey, right? Everybody is. And so we can't compare, we can't do anything. All we can do is share so that people can see, okay, I see how you traversed that. And this is how I moved through it. And this is what feels like I'm called to. And that's where the real exponential unification and growth come from, is when everybody's sharing without saying that this is the way or this is it.
Yeah. And to her point, I think she's still going through her own growth. Like she's of knowing that this is who she truly is and it's okay to be that person. A lot of times we want to fit in, right? I mean, God, I've never fit in. And not that, and I think at some point I always wanted to belong somewhere. So I think it's a matter of being comfortable and uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is where the big changes happen. And sometimes you're sitting in that place for a little bit, right? So it's just a matter of, she has you, right? She has your support. Spirit Calling's here as well. And it's just knowing that you have that support wherever you are in your journey, that it's okay, Because sometimes there's knowledge there and you're like, man, my belief system was over here. And now I know, and now what I know, that can be mind blowing. That takes time. It definitely does. So I don't think that there's any right or wrong, anything perfect or not. I feel where she might be, because I know when I had my first, I guess, external awakening of what my belief system was and what my family would not accept. And maybe Jason, you can feel that there's something you're just like, wow, this is going to be huge, to now know that I could no longer support what I thought was something that really isn't. Does that make sense? I don't want to get too specific, but each person, like let's just say they had a journey. I'm going to use mine. I'll use basically, my mom is very political, diehard, Democrat, whatever, right? So if you strayed in any other direction, it's like you were getting shut down, you were getting put down, whatever it may be. So if I even believed something a little bit different, I had to keep, like, I would feel like, oh my God, I could never speak about, I kind of feel this way. So I know when you're among family members that are all on one side or all seeing something one way or the other, why someone will be like, man, I wish I didn't have this material to make me feel like, now I feel like I'm going kind of against the family. Does that make sense? Is that what she's experiencing?
I
Or
think
friends?
I think that's it's a little bit of a combination of, what you said and what Tina said,
Yeah. Yeah.
Baby steps, really, baby steps. Baby steps is all it takes. You just a little bit here, and then you just kind of sit with how you feel, because it's all about really, how does it resonate with you? How does it feel? You take another baby step. I climbed Mount Fuji with baby steps, let me tell you.
Yeah. It's
And
like we got to break all these things down. All these belief systems just have to be broken down, because all it matters is that we're all coming together now, you know?
yeah,
So I say the less you can be attached to, the better. And that's hard.
that's a really, really good point, and such a and a good conclusion that people make, is that it's really hard. But it isn't, as if you can, anybody who's been through an awakening of any type has realized that what the awakening was about was the undoing of what they had up to that point believed in as their truth.
Yes.
And it was built on, like a stack of lies, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you. No, touche. Touche. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today. It means a lot. I'm going to go on my vacation. I'm going to be in Virginia, and I'm going to be 5D the whole time because of this awesome conversation. So I want to thank you for coming on early with me this month to have this talk. And again, for anyone who might be viewing this outside of Spirit Calling, you can find us at spirit-calling.com, a 7-day free trial to experience this and coming on conversations like this, as well as Cosmic Citizen and getting to see other events like our sound healing events and things like that. So I want to thank you for joining us as well. And thank you guys for, again, being here. Yay.
Thank you,
And
Danielle.
we'll see you guys next month. Should be, let me just take a look at my calendar. Should be normal, May 30th. So looking forward to seeing you guys all there on Friday, May 30th.
Danielle, real quick,
Bye.
I was gonna say, maybe you could see if you can meet up with Alston. I think he's in Virginia.
Oh, is he?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe.
I know it's a
Wouldn't that
big
be
state.
fun?
Yeah, but that'd be cool if you're just so happen to be
I
close
should reach
by.
out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for letting me know.
Mhm.
All right, everybody.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care.
Thanks,
Thanks
Danielle.
again for joining us.
Everybody.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.